Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. I know it's not Halloween. Alright, that's long past. But when it came to my Halloween videos, I ran out of time and I couldn't upload everything I wanted to. So that's why I'm uploading them past Halloween. But if you stop and look at it like this, at some point in time, it's gonna be Halloween time again, October. So somebody eventually will stumble upon my videos and watch it around Halloween time. So yeah, and I'm here today to talk to you about Goosebumps, Cry of the Cat. This is one of the creepiest, spookiest, and scariest episodes ever in Goosebumps. In fact, when the script was sent to R.L. Stine and his wife, they said this is either the most insane thing they've ever seen or it's the best Goosebumps episode ever to be made. Now, this is the last episode to ever be produced. However, it's not the series finale. The series finale is, I think it's called Deep Trouble. And I've already talked about that episode. Go watch that. But this episode is just insane. And I mean, it is insane. The animatronics puppet of the cat is amazing. The cat person's mask looks like one of the realest things Goosebumps has ever made. They really took their time and care with that mask. It is that creepy and realistic, and it's better looking than most stuff I've ever seen in today's movies and TVs with the whole CGI or even like prosthetics. It is that creepy. I mean, this is just, whoo. They creeped up the level big time in this episode. And, you know, with this episode, it has two recurring characters. Ryan, he was in the Terror Tower episode. And I forget, he's played by Corey Shivers. And Allison, they changed her last name for some reason in this episode, but Allison, and I can't say her first name or even her last name. It's Hamili Rusta or something like that. She was in Calling All Creeps in that one episode. And what's really cool about this episode is that like it still follows that normal R.L. Stine like formula of like, say, you know, one parent's a scientist, there's some type of monster, and there's kind of, you know, the boy-girl duo, kind of, but only towards the end. It mostly revolves around that of Allison. And she's played by an Asian actress. This is very rare in Goosebumps because, like I said before, there aren't that many people of color, and there aren't that many people of color who get their own episodes. And she did an amazing job on this, and she's very stunning and everything. I wish she was in like more Goosebumps stuff or did more stuff today. And so like this differs a lot from the books, and I mean a lot from the books. Like, what's interesting about this is it's an extremely meta episode. So in this episode, Allison and Ryan are movie stars, and they're in a low-budget movie called Cry of the Cat, which is the title of this episode. And it gets more meta than that. Now, in the books, they're just ordinary kids. In the books, they're a whole lot nicer. They're bratty and mean in this episode. They're just spoiled brat like teen stars and everything, but they're not bullies. They're just like bratty and everything. And so, you know, this takes for a lot of movie references. The opening of like their movie is like, you know, something from like The Exorcist, a little bit from Pet Sematary. This cat's like a mutant cat, and they need an exorcist and everything, and it's very cheesy, but it's very funny. And something similar happens to what happens to them in the actual episode. And so, like, it's funny because they're playing these characters in the movie, but yet these real life events are similar happening to them. Or at least to Allison, that is. And so, like, in the book, Allison also has like siblings, but they took those out for like, the television series and also the parents. But they do make reference to her parents. So anyway, they're doing the movie and the animatronics on the movie is like messing up. So of course Allison, she's being bratty. She's in her like dressing room. And we notice that she has a lot of mouse stuff. She loves mouses. She has like a glass statue of mouse. She has like a wind up toy, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, her bratty little self decides she's gonna go for lunch and ride her bikes while rehearsing her lines. It is there she runs over an animal, but we don't know what kind of animal it is. We just see fur in her wheels, and it's led to be a cat. Now, what's interesting, and it gets more meta than this, the script that she was rehearsing, it says Goosebumps 6, Cry of the Cat. And I don't know which number the Cry of the Cat book was, but this is also the 5th and 6th episode because it's a two-parter hour episode. Now, it's not an hour special, but it's a two-parter. And one of the episodes is number 6. And of course, Goosebumps is the name of the actual show that they are in and stuff. That is so insane. And so, like, for whatever reason, she assumes that the cat came from this one house. And like a typical R.L. Stein character, they break into and entering, just trespassing in somebody's house. So she's in the house and she's trying to find who lives there. And it's a teeny tiny little girl. And she trying to explain to the girl what happened. The girl's all like, oh, that's Rip. He's no ordinary cat. Ah, shenanigans, shenanigans. And so, like, she doesn't understand why the girl's acting this way. And Allison's just kind of like, whatever. I'm sorry I killed your cat. Well, anyways, in the book, she actually decapitates the cat. But in the show, she just runs over it with a bike. Can't be too gruesome for a kid's show. So when she goes back to set, she's back to filming her movie. And all of a sudden, she's drinking water and there's a fur ball in there and everything, which is kind of odd. And she just starts looking at her hands in an odd kind of way. And it's just weird. So she's doing her movie and everything. And also what's interesting that the director in this is like also Asian too, because there aren't that many Asian people in Goosebumps. I've already said it's probably about 4 or 5, and only really 2 of them are like main cast members and stuff. And so, but what is it? So she's in the cupboard, doing her movie thing, and all of a sudden, Rip the cat is in the cupboard, but he looks like a mutant cat. Now, in the books, he's just a regular cat, but of course, this is the Goosebumps television show, so they up the ante, and he looks like a deranged, raggedy, mutant-looking beast and everything, but he looks more like a rat than he does a cat. So she gets scared and the cupboard almost falls on her, but it squishes Rick. And so, like, and of course, Rip is a take on Rest in Peace. So she's freaking out, and nobody wants to believe her that there's like a cat that's literally stalking her. And that's exactly what is going on. This cat is pissed and it is stalking her. And so at some point, when like things are getting a little too hectic on set, her director tells her just take a nap. And so when she does that, she wakes up and she's in her room and there's something clawing through her bed sheets and it attacks her. But she's able to throw it out the window in the bed sheet, but she wants to make sure it's actually dead. Not sure, like she knows it's that cat and everything, but she doesn't understand how he keeps coming back alive. So he comes back alive and he scratches her arm, and it's like these 3 green glowing marks on her, letting you know that something's a little spooky with that cat. And so after this, she starts to act a little weird. She starts to act like that of a feline. And so she's kind of like, giving herself like a bath the way a cat does. And it's kind of just freaking people out. And at some point, she, like I said before, she has a wind up cat and she put it in like her jacket at one point earlier. Well, she's supposed to do a scene on top of a fake roof because it's like a movie set. And she sees something dangling over the roof and it catches her attention like a cat. And she tries to get at it. Now, the way this actress does all this is amazing. I really like this actress. I think she stopped acting now, I think, which is quite a shame because she was so good in this. And she's literally dazed and confused and trying to claw at this thing dangling in front of her like cats do. And she's just mesmerized by it. Well, of course, she falls off. And when she does, she lands on both feet. Well, all 4 feet. Well, not feet. Well, she lands on her hands and her feet, kind of like a cat does when they crawl around. Now, before all this, when I said she was acting kind of like cat-like, she even ate a raw fish and had no idea she was eating it. And ugh. So, of course, they take her to the hospital to see what's wrong with her. She has no broken bones, no ligaments, no nothing, no fractures. And the doctor thinks this is very weird. And so, like, while in the hospital, the cat stalks her again and tries to attack her, but she knocks it out with a bedpan. But she thinks she's just hallucinating. Well, she decides she's going to sneak away from the hospital. And when she does that, she overhears the doctor talking. He thinks he has the wrong blood samples. It turns out that when he tested her blood, it came back as cat DNA. So she only has one thing to do. She heads back to that girl's house. And because when she was there earlier, she saw when she goes to the second time, I think, she sees a bunch of pictures of a woman, the girl's mother, who she's never met before. And she starts reading articles about how they're trying to find a cure for cats and the university won't give them no more funding and stuff like that. And the little girl's all I knew you would come here and everything. And so she tells her about the mutant cat she has, talking about how it's no ordinary cat. It has 9 lives. It only has 1 left because, Allison keeps telling me, he keeps dying and coming back. So he only has 1 life left. So think of it kind of like Catwoman from the Batman Returns movie. And so she's all they don't know how they're going to be able to stop it, but what's the main thing? Maybe if I kill it, then maybe this curse will be lifted off me. And so, because when the cats, she also tells her, don't let the cat scratch you a second time, because every time it scratches you, it puts a little bit of its own life force in you, and it takes your life force, getting more lives and everything. And so, she needs to find out where this cat is hiding at so she can try to kill it or stay away from it or something. And so she figures it has to have a resting place. Well, the girl tells her, well, the first place it died was the cemetery. And that's where they're shooting the movie. So while she's there, the dude, Ryan, she apologizes to him for acting all weird and this and that. Well, she's already been replaced on the movie. And she's been replaced by a new actress. The new actress is white. Yeah, she really looks Asian to me. And so, of course, shenanigans start to happen. And they remove rips, actual gravestone, and put the fake one there. And then when they're digging for the pretend cat that they're supposed to dig up for their movie, it turns out to be Rip's coffin and nothing's in there. So the next thing you know, this huge explosion happens for some bizarre reason. And then the earth starts shaking. Rip, ghostly form, is in the explosion flames, which is really cool looking. So the spirit of Rip is in that pet cemetery. And so Allison's freaking out. She grabs Ryan and they run off. And so they see the little girl. She's like, you'll be safe at my house. And of course she wants to, I don't know why she wants Ryan to be safe and none of the other people on set, but she just takes Ryan because, he's in the books and they had to insert him somehow. And stuff. And so they go to the lady's house and it turns out, the cat lady shows up. The little girl's mother, and she is scary looking, freaky. And so she's all I was a scientist back in the day, and I was trying to find a cure because apparently she said cats' immune systems are similar to humans. I had no idea. Why don't they ever use them in testing? Oh, wait, they can't because PETA. So anyway, they normally use mice and rats and everything. But hey, if cats are similar to us and they can find cures, I mean, it ain't like we have a shortage of cats in the world. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, but animal testing is wrong because they're innocent little creatures and they didn't ask to be experimented on. So that is cruel and wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I feel bad for them and stuff. And I even feel bad for the rats and everything or the mice they use to experiments on. But I don't know. I mean, you gotta find a cure somehow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's either you be a saint and let everybody die, or you be that Kevorkian dude and just like experiment. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad I'm not a scientist, a doctor, or no ethical person to have to make that decision. But anyway, and so the cat lady tells me, like, oh yeah, the cat, like, Rip, he wanted my daughter, but I let him take me instead. And with every scratch, I became more like him. Boy, that is a freaky twist that R.L. Stein came up with. So then Rick, he wants another person to start scratching. Well, that's why they lured them into the house so they can have Ryan and Allison. And here comes Rip. And Rip is first looking like a crazy little cat just walking around, but he looks like he has wings on his back. And so, like, because see, the cat lady, she experimented on Rick. That's what turned him to a mutant cat and all this other crap. Anyway, then all of a sudden, he stands up on his hind legs and he's all buff and ripped. So they had to find a way they have to kill him. So I don't know how, but Allison's all like, I see chemicals in the lab. Maybe if he drinks a chemical, he will die. How did she come to this conclusion? Hey, I don't know. But she puts it in her little cat wind-up toy. And so, like, when of course is winding around, he eats it, and then smoke starts coming from his mouth, and he explodes off camera. And all they can find left is the little wind-up toy. But before Rip died, he tried to escape, and he scratched Ryan. So after that, Cat Lady is now human. Um, Doctor Lady now and her daughter are watching the Cry of the Cat movie, and they're watching it along with Allison and Ryan. And with their celebrity money, they bought them a new TV. Why? Don't know. Why they didn't have a TV before? Don't know. Why were they dressed like weird people from back in the old horror movie early in the episode? Don't know. But now they're dressed like normal people. Who knows? And so they're talking about like, oh, a twist ending and this and that. And all of a sudden, Brian starts to eat a mouse he sees on the floor. And he's all like, oh, I just love a good twist. Now in the book, the cat lady still remains a cat and never turns human. And in the twist ending, both Allison and Ryan continue to act like cats and they're not cured from the curse. So that the ending of the TV show, I'm cool with it, but the part about Ryan is a little confusing because they say if Rip scratches you, then like, a little bit of you goes in him. So that's what happened to Ryan. But Rip got exploded, so he's not there no more. So I assumed if he died, then wouldn't the curse die out in Ryan just like it died out in like the doctor lady? So that part's always a little confusing. But I think this episode is great. And the Allison actress, she did a great job. Like at one point she was twisting and turning, like her insides are like reshaping themselves. And you hear like this organic stretching noise. And it's just great, man. This was a really creepy episode. And I'm surprised they didn't bring it on at night instead of during the daytime. That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.